Hello, everybody. I'm Jess Rowley, the Events and Program Manager for Global Game Jam. And I just want to thank you so much for watching this video today. If you're watching live or if you're watching after the fact, we have a really great piece of information for you about Houdini and SideFX. I do have Deb Isaac here. Deb Isaac is the community mentor for SideFX. She has over a decade of experience teaching Houdini, and she gets super excited to share her enthusiasm with the software. It is so obvious when she's doing her presentation. And she focuses on encouraging artists to make amazing work with Houdini. Her community building efforts include co-organizing LAHUG, which is Los Angeles Houdini User Group, and running Houdini Battle. Additionally, she is an adjunct professor at USC Cinematic Arts, Expanded Animation, and is the founder of Houdini School. She's got a very impressive resume. Once again, you're here with Global Game Jam. This is prep week. We are going to be kicking off Global Game Jam in just a few days. And this is a wonderful tool that you'll be able to use for the Game Jam. So without further ado, let me bring Deb on stage.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for that lovely introduction. So yes, I am super enthusiastic about the software. I love it, and I hope you guys can understand why it's super powerful. So I have this little presentation here. Okay, so let's look at the reel. Actually, if you don't mind playing that.
Sure.
Yes?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course. Oh no.
It's a little
technical difficulties.
Okay, no worries. You know what we could do is put the link to the reel in the chat for people to see.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that.
No worries.
The streaming sometimes doesn't like playing video on my end.
For sure.
It's something I've come up before. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for helping with that. And also, everybody, please put questions in the chat at any point here. This is a super informal kind of like get to know Houdini session. So let me go to the next slide here. Okay, so here are a sampling of some of the game studios using Houdini. It is getting to be or is already pretty industry standard. So it's a very good tool to know, very good tool to have under your belt. And one of the things that you can do with Houdini and game engines is create what's called digital assets. And you can take the node-based networks that you create, package them up, and put them in your game engine, whether it's Unreal or Unity, and have all the flexibility that you would normally have. And as you can see here, it adapts to your game. Let's also look at other ways Houdini is used in games. So if you head over to the SideFX website and go to Industries, game development is the second one here. And you can see, I highly encourage you guys to explore the website and see everything. There are previous year games reels here for you to see all the amazing art that's been made. There's been interviews with companies, case studies, how they're used in their pipelines. There's also downloadable projects for you guys. Project Pegasus, you can download it, see how it was made. They also create tutorials for you to learn. Project Titan as well. So many assets for you guys to use there. So one of the main things is world building. You can use Houdini to make massive worlds, whether it's landscapes, natural environments, terrains, or it's big cities. Houdini can tackle any of it with so many amazing tools. So here we go with the terrains over here. It's really fun to work with. And you know that Houdini is famous for simulations, and a lot of the terrains have erosion systems built in. They're simulated, right? The other thing is SideFX Labs. Now, this originally was called Games Tools, but because everybody was using them, because these tools were so cool, they renamed it to SideFX Labs. So everyone feels free to use them. And there's hundreds and hundreds of these really simple, high-level tools that are game ready. Real-time effects, right? So flipbook textures, that's a standard kind of workflow practice that you guys have in any game engine. So we have tools that can export flipbook textures from your effects, flow maps for rivers, and vertex animation textures, which is a super cool technology that will take your simulation and bake it into actual textures. So a lot of industries take the workflows from games because you guys are all about efficiency, right? Houdini engine plugins is, we'll get into that in a second, and that's really about how Houdini plugs into Unreal and Unity. So there's plugins for both of those, and this is how we bring in those digital assets that I showed you guys earlier. Now, probably every major cinematics department is going to use Houdini for their cinematics. Okay, and this is a sampling of the different licensing. Houdini Indie is what you guys actually have access to. So if you guys want to head over to Global Game Jam, and go to the sponsors page and go to the Houdini area, just request your license and we'll give you guys a free 6-month Houdini Indie license for this jam, okay? Okay, awesome. Sweet. So we talked about Houdini engine. Now, when you launch Houdini, the way to install those plugins is when you have your launcher, you're going to go to the second tab here. It says Engine Plugins, and this is where you would install your Unity or Unreal plugins. And now let's play this video, Jess, if you've got that ready to go.
Yeah, give me just 1 second.
Houdini Engine acts as a conduit for the deployment of procedural assets into Unity. This is not just importing static geometry, because as the assets are loaded in the editor, they act more like tools. Artists and level designers can use these tools as if they are part of the Unity experience and don't need to know anything about Houdini. Assets can be manipulated using parameters or interactively in the viewport, then Houdini cooks the nodes under the hood to deliver the results back to Unity. Whether you are using Unity for game or XR development, virtual production, or design visualization, these procedural assets can help you work faster and more efficiently. Assets can be designed to generate everything you need, such as good topology for your models, UVs for your textures, and even lower res collision geometry. It is important to note that these assets are procedural in the game editor, but are not part of the runtime experience. They get baked out, which means they should be designed to output game-friendly and instance geometry. The assets you see here are from the starter kit, available on SideFX.com, which will allow you to explore Houdini Engine for Unity for yourself. There are assets for building trees, foliage, edge damage, platforms, roads, and terrain. You can even generate a whole level using a Photoshop sketch to drive the placement of elements, input the PSD file, and then use the parameters to set min and max building heights. And the best part is that the Houdini Engine for Unity plugin is free for both indie and commercial studios. Houdini Indie can be used to build assets. Then you can distribute these assets to up to 3 level designers working in Unity. Commercial studios can access up to 10 licenses online or talk to an account manager to add as many free licenses as you need. A small team of technical artists can use Houdini Core or Houdini Effects to make custom assets that support wide deployment within your project. Come and experience Houdini Engine for Unity for yourself. Visit sidefx.com/Unity, where you can learn how to download and install the plugin and access the starter kit assets seen in this video.
Sweet. Okay, we'll get you guys links to all that. And yes, Unity starter kit assets. So I'll send you guys the link for that. And a lot of tutorials that go along with that. And the Game Jam Basics video is also a great video. Yeah, and these are great people to learn from. Simon is the one that makes most of the game videos, so definitely search his name for really great tutorials that are appropriate for what you guys are doing. Okay, one second. So I think that's the end of my presentation. And learn Houdini. So I think I see a comment from the Bull about, can it create assets at runtime? So no, it cannot. So the idea is that, right, so all the generation, the level generations have to be done beforehand. So it won't be generating anything brand new on runtime. You generate everything before, but obviously you can do whatever you need to do on runtime to access all of those baked assets, if that makes sense. Now, if you go to, again, the industries, game development, and you scroll all the way down, here's a great place to get started. There's also a Unity learning path. I think this Game Jam, I forget if you guys are 50-50, Unreal Unity, but they have both of them there for you guys. So, so yeah. Any other questions?
I do think you also answered the Bull's other question about where's the best place to start learning it. That's definitely a great tutorial. Do you want to show a little bit? I think in the last one, the last tutorial that you did, you showed a little bit of what was in the Learn tutorials. Do you want to show how cool those assets are?
Okay, so let's see the Unity learning path. So if you click on the Unity learning path, that's the video we just saw right there. And basically everything you need to get started is right here. And you see Simon's name is on everything. And so we have the Unity starter kit. We have getting started with Houdini Engine over here. And then let's find that Game Jam tutorial. So if you go to the Learn tutorial section, all the tutorials are here, like hundreds and hundreds of them are right here. But let's see if we can just search Game Jam. And don't worry, I have the link, but I just wanted to see if it was in, oh, here we go. Game Jam Basics. Now, this other one right here, the Foundations book, I highly recommend that. That's really great. Also, so Robert McGee is another person to look out for. He wrote the Foundations book, and he also made this procedural assets for Unreal. I'm sure he also has a Unity one as well. So all I did was type Game Jam, and you could even just type game, and you can see we have Games Workshop Artist Track. We have Tech Track over here. So there's a lot of resources. This one I think is really great. The Game Jam Basics, and he talks about, interface stuff, getting started, laying down nodes, so if you don't know Houdini at all, this tutorial is really helpful. And he basically goes over like how to make a rock. Okay, so that's useful, right? We need rocks. How to UV your rock, how to poly reduce your rock. And and talks about attributes, which are super important fundamental concept in Houdini. And you could do some kind of like really creative work with that. And at the end of the day, he also shows you guys how to make a digital asset, package it up, and then put it in Unreal. So this is a super helpful tutorial, so I highly recommend that. I'm just going to put this link into the chat. I'm going to join the chat. Ooh, it looks like I can't join the chat. But I will.
Under comments.
Right, but it says I have to link my YouTube to do that.
Okay.
But I'm going to put it into the other chat with you, Jess.
You want to drop that in? I can link it into
you got it.
section.
Awesome. Any other questions from the audience? Anything at all?
I just think it's such an amazing tool. It's very powerful to be able to, I know I think I said that the last time, but it's just, I'm very amazed at what you're able to create with it so quickly, because I think that that's what happens is a lot of times assets can just take forever in putting things into your game.
It's really powerful. I think the idea is like, you know, you make your setup and the setup might take a little time, but that's the heavy lifting. And so you make a setup, like let's say you make a tree and you make a setup for a tree. And then once that setup is done, you can then make all these variations, right?
Yeah.
So it's not about building one asset. The idea is it's about making a system that can generate a lot of assets based on the initial setup that you make, right? So think about Houdini as like a generative, like it generates assets. It's about making thousands of variations of a single system. Yeah.
Yeah. What would you say are the most popular ways that people use Houdini for video games specifically?
I feel like it falls into like these two categories, right? Like big stuff, like world building, and the small stuff, props. So I've seen people make like swords and guns and you know, props for games. And again, think about a sword. It has, you know, like the base and then it has the blade. So you can generate, you know, make a system that generates like hundreds of swords from your initial setup. And you could even set it up such that you press a button and it will output like 100 swords for you. And they're all different. So, I mean, you might not need that many swords for your game, but
never know.
But the idea is that like rocks might, you know, you might need like, you might want like, you know, 30 different rocks. So you might want, you know, like you might want 100 swords and like pick like your favorite two from, you know, the selection of swords. Like, so you're, you know, you're working with someone and you get to be like, hey, which sword do you like from all the swords I just made for you, you know? So you can definitely make people you work with really happy and impress them. And they don't know what you did, but that's why it's called Houdini, because it's magic. Yeah. So
I mean,
the power and the flexibility
with it just adds that element of creativity instead of having to have, you know, a blade of grass and then you have to make that blade of grass 1,000 times, or you have to make it look slightly different. It just cuts that piece out, and you're able to create a more immersive world that looks a lot more realistic.
Right. And you are art directing. It doesn't take the artistry out. It just, it just makes you, it gives you the ability to just make more. So yeah, you work on a blade of grass. It's like, you're not this, like, you can sculpt, you can do things, and you can design, but then from there you can scale it up bigger. Right. So you have the best of both worlds. Definitely.
Yeah. And what would you say the learning curve for this tool is if you've never touched it before?
If you've never touched it before, to be honest with you, because of like, I've taught so many different kinds of brains, that there's some people that pick it up really quick, and then some people that it takes longer. So I'm starting to rethink that question, because I do get that a lot. I think that if you already have a technical mindset, it's not actually going to be as hard as you think, because it's just going to make sense. But if you've never had this before, if you've never used a technical program before, if you don't have technical knowledge, sure, it's going to be hard, but any program is going to be hard at that point. Yeah. But if you already have some foundational knowledge in computer graphics, especially anything in computer science at all, is going to come in handy, then Houdini is going to just make sense. So that's my new answer for that question.
It's a great new answer. I'm sure you do get that a lot.
It depends is the new answer.
Yeah, but I think I mean, that's almost anybody, right? Everybody has their own learning styles too. So it's regardless, it's a case-by-case basis of how quickly.
If you like watching videos and learning from videos, and if you're not scared to ask questions, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's for self-learner, you can absolutely do it. If you're not a self-learner, there's absolutely resources. And I just want to give out my, can I give out my contact info?
Yeah, that actually was going to be my next question was, do you, does Houdini or SideFX ever have like a live tutorial where you have a teacher who will walk you through some of these steps?
It's something that we've been talking about, and if there's interest, it's so easy to do. So I'm more than happy. I do quick starts all the time. So and we did a workshop 2 weeks ago with you.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was great.
Fun. Yeah. So here is my email. So don't be shy. Just email me, and I can assist you guys further. And then let's see here. I can also, there's some links that I have here that I'll also. Give these to you.
Awesome.
Oh, that looks like the links didn't copy, but I will send them.
And once again, for everybody who is watching, if you don't already have your Houdini Indie license for the upcoming Global Game Jam, again, this is a 6-month Houdini license, which is,
that's like something we only do for you guys, 6 months. Usually it's a 2-month. But this one, we wanted to give you guys a little more time. So please
highly recommend anyone taking advantage of it. Dropping the Google form in the chat. Just make sure that you are filling that out so that we are able to get that license over to you, so you can start impressing your game jam teams.
There you go. They will be impressed. It's great skills, you guys. Learn Houdini. It's awesome. You'll love it. I promise.
Yeah. I can only imagine some really impressive games can come out of this game jam with this tool too.
I have to say that one of the things I love about teaching Houdini is the fact that it's like giving a gift. So when I teach, especially that first time where someone's never used it before, and I teach that very first class, and they realize, oh, this is my software. This is it. I can't tell you how many times that happens and how rewarding that is. And I just want that for you guys. So I know that it's going to happen for some of you. And so that's why we're here, right? So
exactly. Yeah, there's so many amazing projects and games and careers that have come out of Global Game Jam.
And yes, it's hard, but so is everything that's worth doing, right?
Exactly. Yeah, everything that's worth doing is not going to come easy.
Right. That's why
but it's not meant to be discouraging. It's just meant to continue to grow and develop as a person. And exploring all of these different tools that we have available for all of our jammers is just a great way for people to go in with a resume and be like, hey, I know how to use this. I'm really skilled at using this. These are some of the projects I've worked on. The more things you do know, the more systems and programs that you've learned and picked up along the way, the more valuable that you'll be if if you're looking to do game careers. I know not everybody who does Global Game Jam is looking to break into the industry. They're doing it as a hobby, or they're just, they've never made a game before, so they're looking to see what it's even like to make a game. And who knows, it could change your life.
It could change your life. That's over here. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, amazing.
Awesome.
Well, Deb, thank you so much. I'm sorry I had a little bit of that technical difficulty earlier, but for anybody
Thanks for having me.
Of course, I love having these chats with you, Deb. You're so much fun. You're just a really great energy, and very passionate about Houdini. There's also for anyone who missed our webinar that we did a few weeks ago, it's available up on YouTube, but you can do a follow along while Deb shows some neat tools and tricks within Houdini. So it's a live learning that you can do asynchronously.
Cool. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, fantastic. Thank you again for taking the time with us today. And for everybody who's watching this stream afterwards, I hope everybody has a fantastic jam.
Use Good luck, Houdini. Everybody.
I can't wait to see what everybody makes. This has been a really fantastic prep week. And I can't believe Global Game Jam's next week.
So I know. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone's projects. Good luck, everybody.
Exactly. And just one little last plug. We are doing the theme reveal for the Global Game Jam this coming Sunday at 6 p.m. UTC. So if you do want to know what the Game Jam theme is, as well as the keynote, we'll be doing a live airing at that time. If you want to wait until your jam starts, you're more than welcome to do that. I promise we won't put the theme out and spoil it for everybody. It's really important to us. We've been working really hard. So awesome. Well, use Houdini, guys. And if you have any questions, reach out to Deb directly. And have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, you guys. Bye, Jess.
Bye.